If you're using Notion to manage your business operations, I need you to watch this entire video because I'm about to tell you something that might actually save you hundreds of hours of frustration. Notion is not a project management tool, it's an information platform. And yes, there is a difference. So, first, I want to acknowledge because I know this video is going to upset a lot of people. All right. Me saying that Notion is not a project management tool. Notion is an incredibly powerful platform. All right. It can do a million different things. It is 100% customizable. It's where a lot of new businesses are going. And it does serve a very specific need inside of a lot of businesses. All right. But at its heart, Notion is essentially an information repository. All right. So maybe you've been busy building out this incredible Notion platform for your business. Everyone's talking about it, saying they're able to do everything that they can. All right. You've probably invested time watching YouTube videos. Maybe you've bought some templates that people are selling out there. And yet you find that maybe things are still falling through the cracks. Your team is not using it consistently, and you don't have an easy way to report or get high level dashboard views on exactly what's going on in business, right? Give me a status on everything that's happening, who's working on what, is somebody over capacity, etc. So here is what I want you to understand, a really specific distinction. Notion, 100%, again, amazing tool. And this is a tool that will let you store what you know. It's going to store information. A project management tool is what drives execution. All right. It drives what you're doing. So I want to kind of talk about Notion in a way that I had used a very similar tool way back when in my corporate life. Again, Notion really is a knowledge management or a wiki based tool, if you've ever heard of the term wiki. That is what it was built to do, and it does it beautifully. All right. It is very much an information or documentation first platform, not an action first. It's an amazing tool to store information such as SOPs, right? Having all your standard operating procedures in there, your brand guidelines, meeting notes, agendas, right? All of that information storage, research, strategy documents. But storing information is not the same thing as managing work. Notion really doesn't come with a true, what I consider an accountability layer. All right. Project management tools inherently function and thrive on task assignments, status tracking, due date visibility, workload management, right? Think traditional Gantt chart automations. It really lives on that kind of information and hierarchy. Now, do people build templates to mimic task management in Notion? Yes, I have seen them built, but because it's not inherent in the platform, it means a ton of time and energy is going in there to build templates, and even more time and energy is going into to try and pull the reporting kind of information out that you want when you're thinking about the tasks and the execution side of your business. So, what often starts to happen when businesses are attempting to use Notion as their project management tool and their information repository is it starts to create kind of beautiful chaos because the infinite customization starts to be a trap because you can do everything with it. And you start spending more time maintaining Notion than you actually do in execution mode. The way I like to think of what I'm seeing happening with Notion, and I saw it happen with different wikis that I was a part of in different corporate offices. If you ever, like, we were on the front end of Confluence when that came out years ago, is it becomes a dumping ground of information. All right. And think about pre tech days, right, where all information was on paper in file cabinets. And chances are you may have worked somewhere where you would go into someone's office or that storage room in the building, right? And there was file cabinets everywhere. And what would happen is people would just start dumping paper in it, right? And there might be 5 different files all for the same account, but you didn't know that because everybody was busy with their own organizational system, and it just becomes this incredibly, like, paper overflowing type of a setup. And this will happen with Notion or any other information repository unless you have a person who's kind of the gatekeeper for what the organization system looks like. Because again, everybody can use it, it's highly accessible, and everybody's going to start dumping information in there in a way that is not going to create actual systems or repeatability in your organization. And again, even with all that information in there, it is a information repository, not an execution hub. So let's talk about the difference of what a true project management tool does for you. All right, it's going to give you 4 key things. First, it's going to give you visibility. What is happening in your entire organization right now, next week, next month, yet next year, right? True, actual steps that are happening, tasks that are being worked on. Second thing it's going to give you is accountability. Who owns what, by when, with no ambiguity, right? Now, again, could you build a template in Notion to do that? Yes, you could. But then the workflow part of it and the reporting part of it, again, become an actual full-time job to maintain it. So the third thing is workflow. Tasks move through stages, right? They're not just sitting in a list. And project management tools give you that out of the box. And then finally, scalability, right? Everybody on your team can log in and instantly know who's doing what, what's due to me, right? And all of the reporting based on that structure of execution-based structure that comes with a project management tool that is missing inside of Notion, which means in order to build it in Notion, you will need to have someone spending a significant amount of time and energy to create it and maintain it. Whereas when you roll out a true project management tool, ClickUp, Asana, Monday.com, it's inherently built into the structure of the tool, which means you'll be able to instantly create dashboards, views, reports. You're not building it from scratch. Now, where does Notion fit in your organization, right? I know many organizations that are using a project management tool for their task execution, for their project planning, and then Notion as the hub to store all of the background information. So Notion might be the place where you have all of your standard operating procedures, right? It could be a great place again for meeting notes, for research tasks. You are where all the details of the upcoming launch event, etc. Those could all live in Notion. Now, I also want to stretch you a little bit to make sure that you know most project management tools can also store all of that information embedded into the project management tool as well. Personal preference, I always like to minimize our tool set. So if you have been trying to build true business operations, project management style business operations inside of Notion or any other wiki-based tool, and you find that it's causing a lot of frustration, you're having to redo views, you're having to build new templates, things are falling through the cracks, I would encourage you to stop, right? And actually go bring a project management tool in for that type of work. And this is exactly why we created Top Operations with ClickUp here at the Pink Bee. We actually store all of our information in ClickUp as well. We had done all of that before Notion became a thing. But if you already have a Notion platform that is your information repository, but you're lacking on true execution of the business, I would encourage you to come check out Top Operations with ClickUp. All right, we are giving you our entire ClickUp playbook with every single one of our workflows across every single department in our organization. It truly is a plug and play. And if you're already using Notion, you will easily be able to keep your information repository there while moving your execution into ClickUp. Now, if today you don't have an information repository anywhere, well, then you will be able to put all of it beautifully into ClickUp as well. So again, caveat, is it possible to build and maintain true project management in Notion? Yeah, But why would you when instead you could be using a tool that comes with all the fundamentals and was designed for it, and you won't constantly be in fix, repair, and management mode?